So I have started the topic, okay, with inflation and unemployment, okay, and I have shown you a negative curve, downward sloping curve, you can say, okay, and here I have taken wage inflation, and here I have taken unemployment, okay. I have shown you people curve like this, and call this curve Phillips curve, okay. So there is an inverse relationship between wage inflation and unemployment. That is what I have said, or you can say there is a trade-off between inflation in the economy and unemployment. So if a policy maker, okay, want to reduce unemployment, okay, in that period it is found that economy is going through higher wage, okay, or inflation in the economy is higher. So this study, okay, between rate of change in money wage and unemployment is done by William Phillips, and he has looked at the data of the UK economy, United Kingdom economy, of period 1861 to 1957, and published his paper in 1958, okay, where he has found that, okay, that the relationship between rate of change in money wage and unemployment is inverse, okay. So based on his empirical study, we come to know that there is trade-off between inflation in the economy and unemployment, or there is a negative relationship between inflation and unemployment, okay. Later on, okay, we want to provide the theoretical structure to this one. So we have defined natural rate of unemployment, okay. So if you remember, I have told you this natural rate of unemployment, which I denote by U star, okay, is correspond to your full employment output level or your full employment of labor force. So when you have full employment of labor force, okay, we are getting what? Full employment of output level, and this natural rate of unemployment correspond to your full employment output level, okay. So it is the average rate of unemployment around which economy fluctuates, because in the long run economy will be at full employment level of output, okay. So on an average, okay, unemployment rate will be around this U star level, okay. So this is the average rate of unemployment around which economy fluctuates. I have shown you this graph and tell you people to just keep this thing in mind, okay. So this is neighbor demand, this is neighbor supply, this is N star. Then you have production function, you will be having Y star. Let me write here Y star, full employment output level. You can draw it, okay, I am not drawing it. Corresponding to this, you will be having some natural rate of unemployment. It will differ, okay, from country to country based on job separation, okay, rate of job separation and rate of job finding. That I have shown you, because natural rate of unemployment depend on your rate of job separation and rate of job finding, okay. Now I have told you that when employment is more than your full employment of labor force, that means economy is producing more. That means output is more than full employment output, okay. So when employment is more than your full employment of labor force, you are producing more, output is more than Y star, okay. You are employing more people, then unemployment will fall below natural rate of unemployment. So unemployment will be less than your natural rate of unemployment. Remember this three graph, then you will remember this argument. Otherwise you will forget this one, okay. Similarly, I have told you that when your employment fall below your natural rate, that means demand in the economy is net, okay, whatever be the reason, okay. Firm are demanding less labor, okay. So employment is less than full employment labor force, that means firm actual output in the economy, okay, that firm are producing is less than full employment output, okay. That means economy actual unemployment is more than natural rate, okay. It is only when, okay, N equal N star, actual employment is equal to full employment of labor force, and Y equal Y star, that we get U equal U star. Actual unemployment is equal to your natural rate of unemployment, okay. And this is the steady rate of unemployment, okay, that we require, okay, in order for economy to achieve full employment level of output, okay. And we have derived this thing, okay, this is rate of job separation. Okay, so how many fraction of employed people are separated from job, okay, given by this fraction, times total employed people that are getting out of job. So this is fraction of people, okay, that are losing their job. So when we F represent how much fraction of people means unemployed people, okay, that are getting job, and multiplied by U, I am getting total people that are getting job. So this is the fraction of people, okay, unemployed people that are getting job. So when I am saying steady rate of unemployment, okay, that means fraction of people, okay, employed people that are losing job equal to fraction of people that are getting job. Okay, then I have told you that labor force is what? Employed plus unemployed. Okay, write this equation in terms of E, employed people. I will get N minus U. Okay, in place of U substitute, in place of E substitute FU over S. We take S this side. Okay, so you will be getting FU over S equal to N minus U. Okay, multiply both sides by S, you will get FU equal to S N minus U. Okay, I want to know average rate of unemployment. Okay, what is average rate of unemployment? U by N. Okay, this ratio will give me average rate of unemployment, right? Yes or no? U by N, if you remember the definition, okay, U by N give me average. Okay, this will give me average rate of unemployment. So I want to find out this one. So dividing both sides by N, I will be getting U by N. You will divide here. Okay, this is S by F. 1 minus U by N. Okay, after rearranging, you will get average rate of unemployment to be S over S plus F. Okay, so your average rate of unemployment depend on your, what is this? This is rate of job separation, this is rate of job finding, and I have just shown you that, okay, the fraction of people that are losing job equal to fraction of people getting job. Okay, if these two are equal, okay, that means you have steady rate of unemployment. Okay, so when these two things are constant, economy have natural rate of unemployment. Okay, and when your separation rate is higher, okay, unemployment in the economy will be higher. When fraction of people getting job are higher, okay, unemployment will be lower. So your natural rate will differ. Okay, if these two terms will be different for these two terms, of course, will be different for different countries. Okay, based on that, someone will be having natural rate here, someone will be here, someone will be here. That means someone have natural rate of 3%, unemployment rate of 3%. Some economy can have 4%, some economy can have 5 or 6%. Okay, natural rate of unemployment. Okay, so after this, okay, I have derived a simplified model of original Phillips curve. Okay, so here I have defined wage inflation as, this is your current year wage minus previous year wage over previous year wage. Okay, after this I have written this equation in terms of current year wage. So current year wage equal to GW into W minus 1, that will go that side, that will be plus W minus 1. Okay, then current year wage will be equal to previous year wage. In the bracket you will write 1 plus wage inflation. Okay, so if wage inflation is 10%, okay, suppose this is 10%, previous year wage is 90, okay, 90 of 10% is what? 90. So current year wage will be 99. Okay, clear everyone? Okay, because this is wage inflation, okay, or inflation rate, we can say wage inflation rate. Okay, because if you remember, I have derived how to take that one out. Okay, so I'm not going into that now. Phillips curve equation can be represented as original Phillips curve equation, of course. Remember one thing, okay, when original Phillips curve is provided, okay, it is an empirical study. There is no theoretical foundation for the original Phillips curve. Okay, what it is saying? It is saying that there is an inverse relationship between wage inflation and unemployment. First thing. Okay. Second thing, you can say there is a trade-off between unemployment and inflation in the economy. What is the policy implication? You cannot reduce both at the same time. Okay. It is based on only empirical study. Later on, we are providing theoretical foundation to the Phillips curve. Okay. This is negative relationship between wage inflation and your unemployment. So Phillips curve equation can be represented as I told you, there is a negative relationship. Okay. Wage inflation equal to minus epsilon u minus u star. Okay. This epsilon represent, okay, responsiveness in wage, okay, due to change in unemployment. Okay. And this u minus u star, u is your actual unemployment rate, u star is your natural rate of unemployment. Okay. This I have drawn the graph. Okay. Here you have taken unemployment. Here you are taking wage inflation. Okay. Negative sign shows that there is a negative relationship. Okay. Between wage inflation and unemployment. Who want to join now? Okay. When u equal to u star. Okay. Then what will happen? Okay. Wait. I have to substitute this equation here. Okay. Let me substitute this one. This equation I will substitute here. Then I will be doing it. Okay. Wage equal to previous year wage. Then you will be having 1. Here you have minus sign, plus minus epsilon u minus u star. Okay. So I will be using this equation. Okay. This equation. Now, this is my Phillips curve that is showing negative relationship. Okay. When u equal to u star, my current year wage will be equal to previous year wage. So when u equal to u star, my current year wage will be equal to previous year wage. Okay. If unemployment is less than your natural rate of unemployment, unemployment is less than natural rate of unemployment, what will happen? If you remember the 3 graph that I have drawn, so look at this graph. N star, this is employment level. Based on that you have Y star output level, and based on that you have U star. Okay. Now what I am saying is that your unemployment is less than your natural rate. Okay. That means you are producing output more than full employment level. Okay. That means in the economy, employment is more than full employment level of labor force. Yes or no? People are getting the point? Yes, no. When u is less than u star, what will happen to wage? Wage will rise or fall? Look at this one. This is less. So what will happen? Current year wage will rise. Okay. So wage will rise. Current year wage will increase than the previous period. So you have wage inflation. Okay. Or you can remember in this way argument. Similarly, when u is greater than u star, unemployment is more than natural rate. Okay. Unemployment is more than natural rate. That means you are producing less than full employment output. Okay. Then what will happen? Employment is less than your natural rate. Okay. So wage will be less than your last year wage. Okay. Current year wage will be here. Okay. Last year wage is here. Okay. So what happened? Current wage is falling. Okay. So this we have done. Okay. So this we have to drive the original Phillips curve. Today I am going to add one more thing here, inflation as expectation. Okay. In the Phillips curve. So remember I have used this equation in the original Phillips curve. Okay. Next we are going to do inflation expectation augmented Phillips curve. Okay. Now, suppose wage are rising. Okay. So when wage rises, price increases. So when price increases, cost increases. Okay. Why prices are rising? If somebody asks, what is the reason that farm are increasing the price? Farm are increasing the price because wages are rising. Wages are rising. Okay. Since wages are rising, so cost is also increasing. Cost, if you remember, wage into labor plus land into capital. Okay. So when cost is rising, okay, what will happen? You will be having wage inflation in the economy. Inflation in general means increase in the price. So when there is increase in wage, price never are increasing in the economy. Okay, that is creating inflation in the economy. So this inflation that is caused by increasing wage rate is called wage inflation. Okay. Now, when worker and firm, okay, they decide about wage. Okay, so they want to know, okay, value of real wage. Okay, what will be the real wage? Okay, that we should agree upon. Okay, both worker and firm sit down. Okay, they want to decide, okay, what should be the value of real wage. Okay, so that they can continue that real wage over the contract period. Okay, so worker, okay, what they want to do? They want to adjust the nominal wage based on particular price level. Okay, they don't know what will be the actual inflation. Okay, over the contract period, what will be the actual inflation? So they want to adjust nominal wage based on a particular price level. That we call expected inflation. Okay, similarly, farm or management also, okay, they want to, okay, adjust nominal wage, okay, based on a particular price level. So both are concerned with real wage, value of real wage. What should be the value of real wage? Okay, both worker and management are concerned with the value of real wage. Okay, so what worker want to do? Okay, worker want to adjust nominal wage in such a way, okay, that real wage, okay, over the period either remain same or increase. Where management, okay, want to give ness, okay, they want to adjust ness of real wage. Okay, can everyone? Yes, no. Okay. Next. So inflation, actual inflation in the economy can be greater than equal to less than your expected inflation. This can happen. They are setting the nominal wage, okay, based on expected inflation, so that they take account of real wage. But in the economy, actual inflation can be greater than equal to less than expected inflation. Yes or no? If actual inflation is more than expected inflation, okay, what will happen? Actual unemployment will be more than your natural rate or less than natural rate. In this case, what firm will do? मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ, ठीक है, अच्छा ठीक है, देखो यहाँ पे मैं ये बोल रहा हूँ वर्कर और फर्म है, ठीक है, दोनों को डिसाइड करना है कि नॉमिनल वेज क्या हो, ठीक है, कि जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पीरियड के थ्रू जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पीरियड रहता है उसमें उन दोनों को नॉमिनल वेज इस तरह से डिसाइड करना है कि रियल वैल्यू ऑफ कैन से रियल वेज डिटरमाइन हो, वैल्यू ऑफ रियल वेज डिटरमाइन हो. वर्कर लोग चाहेगा कि जो वेज है नॉमिनल वेज इस तरह से एडजस्ट किया जाए, ठीक है, पार्टिकुलर इन्फ्लेशन लेवल के अकॉर्डिंग, कि उसका रियल वेज या तो सेम रहे या बढ़ जाए, ज्यादा कमोडिटी कंज्यूम कर सके. फर्म ऑन द अदर हैंड क्या चाहेगा, ये जो रियल वेज है, ओके, वो कैसे कम किया जाए, ओके, तभी उसका प्रॉफिट मार्जिन बढ़ेगा. यहाँ पे देखो ये एक्चुअल इन्फ्लेशन है, ये एक्सपेक्टेड इन्फ्लेशन है, तो वेज को तो सेट कर दिया बेस्ड ऑन एक्सपेक्टेड इन्फ्लेशन, ठीक है, एक्सपेक्टेड इन्फ्लेशन से वेज को सेट कर दिया बेस्ड ऑन एक्सपेक्टेड प्राइस लेवल पे रहेगा, ठीक है. अब इकोनॉमी में क्या हो गया, एक्चुअल इन्फ्लेशन ज्यादा है, ठीक है, वेज इसके अकॉर्डिंग सेट हुआ है, तो फर्म को बेनिफिट होगा, यस और नो? एक्चुअल इन्फ्लेशन इन द इकोनॉमी प्राइस लेवल मोर देन एक्सपेक्टेड इन्फ्लेशन, तो फर्म वुड लाइक टू प्रोड्यूस मोर, so actual unemployment will be less than natural rate of unemployment. Okay, similarly when actual inflation in the economy is less than expected inflation, okay, now firm, okay, they are losing it, so they are giving higher wage to the worker, so actual unemployment in the economy will be more than natural rate of unemployment. Okay, so when I am talking about unemployment, okay, unemployment depend on how much your actual inflation, okay, exceed your expected inflation. Okay, how much your actual unemployment or actual inflation exceed your expected inflation. Okay, now so your original Phillips curve, if you remember, original Phillips curve is JW equal to minus epsilon u minus u star. Okay, now what I am saying, okay, this unemployment, okay, actual unemployment, okay, exceed your natural rate of unemployment. Look here, okay, actual unemployment is less than your natural rate of unemployment, okay, depend on your actual and expected inflation, these two factors, okay, these two factors. So original Phillips curve equation is given by this one. Okay, now we are assuming one simple thing, okay, assuming that real wage remain constant. Okay, so this real wage W by P remain constant. So when I am assuming this, that means wage inflation is same as your price inflation. Let me show you. Take the log of this one. So this will be log W minus log P, okay, d over dt. What we have assumed, real wage remain constant. That means W by P ratio will remain constant. Okay, so over time real wage is not changing, so this one will be 0. This is what wage inflation. So in discrete time form you will write delta W over W. Okay, I'm writing in discrete time, you can write in dw by w into 1 over dt. Okay, and discrete time change in price level in this one. Okay, when real wage remain constant, what we will find is that wage inflation is same as the price inflation. Okay, and price inflation I denote by pi, if you remember correctly. So in place of this one I write pi, in place of this one I write pi. Okay, and I have just shown you that, okay, that in the economy actual inflation can differ from your expected inflation. This is the expected inflation, okay, that worker and firm expect to prevail in a particular year or particular period. Okay, so if actual inflation is more than expected inflation, okay, firm would like to produce more, then your actual unemployment will be less than natural rate of unemployment. If actual inflation is less than your expected inflation, okay, what will happen? Firm would produce less, okay, so actual unemployment will be more than your natural rate of unemployment. Okay, so here this difference between employment, okay, actual unemployment and your natural rate of unemployment depend on difference between actual inflation and expected inflation. Okay, so we can write this as minus epsilon u minus u star. So when I am talking about inflation expectation augmented Phillips curve, my original Phillips curve, okay, will be redefined in this form. Let me write this one. So here one important point, remember, unemployment, okay, depend on how much your actual inflation exceed your expected inflation. Okay, this unemployment in the economy, okay, depend on how much your actual inflation exceed your expected inflation. So in place of GW I can write pi, okay, minus pi. So this is the inflation expectation augmented Phillips curve equation. inflation expectation augmented Phillips curve. Okay, pi minus pi equal to minus epsilon u minus u star. This is the equation we have. Previously in the original Phillips curve we have this equation. Okay, next what we have said, okay, your unimprovement not depend on your inflation. Okay, it depend on your how much your actual inflation exceed your expected inflation. Okay, if your actual inflation is equal to expected inflation, then what will happen? Your unemployment, actual unemployment will be equal to your natural rate of unemployment. Because here expectation of the firm is realized, expectation of the worker is realized. Okay, so firm will be producing full employment level of output, employment will be at natural rate, so unemployment will be at natural rate. This is the equation I have rearranged this one, writing in terms of current year inflation, pi equal to pi e minus epsilon u minus u star. Clear everyone? So this is the equation we get in case of inflation expectation of augmented Phillips curve. Let me drop this one. Now I am drawing the graph of this one. Okay. So pi equal to pi is then p over p. Okay, pi e minus epsilon u minus u star. So this is the equation of inflation expectation augmented Phillips curve. So here you are taking unemployment, here you are taking actual inflation. Okay, I am drawing Phillips curve with respect to actual inflation. Okay, but your unemployment, okay, depend on your actual as well as expected inflation. Okay, so each Phillips curve that I am drawing will be based on a particular expected inflation. Okay, so this is 5%. This part of the argument is clear to everyone. I am drawing inflation expectation augmented Phillips curve. Here I have taken actual inflation, and here I have unemployment. As I have told you that unemployment, okay, depend on both actual inflation and expected inflation. Okay, so I have drawn with respect to actual inflation. Okay, that means this Phillips curve is based on a particular given expected inflation rate. Okay, height of this Phillips curve, okay, it depends on a particular expected inflation rate. Okay, now case 1, when u equal to u star, okay, this term will be 0. That means actual inflation equal to expected inflation in the economy. When u equal to u star, actual inflation equal to expected inflation. Okay, as I have told you before. Okay, and this is the case. Expectation of the firm is realized, expectation of the worker is realized. The firm are producing full employment output, you will be having full employment of labor force also. Okay, now look at this one here. Unemployment is less than natural rate. Okay, unemployment is less than natural rate. What happened here? Well, look here. Unemployment is less than natural rate. That means this one is greater than this one. Okay, so this one plus something more. What will happen? Actual inflation in the economy will be more than expected inflation. Okay, from equation also you can see, or if you remember the logic, when unemployment is less than your natural rate, that means what happened? Firm are producing more. Why? Because actual inflation in the economy exceeds your expected inflation. They are paying less real wage to worker. Okay, actual inflation differ from your expected inflation. So firm are producing more, so they are employing more worker. Okay, look at point here. So So this is u1, this is u2. You can look at from this equation also. When actual unemployment is more than your natural rate, okay, so this term is positive. Pi e minus something more, okay, that means inflation, actual inflation is less than your expected inflation. From this you are subtracting something to get actual inflation. So what will happen? Actual inflation is less than expected inflation when u is greater than u star. Okay, it is only when u equal u star that actual inflation equal to expected inflation. Okay, and here you will be having actual inflation less than u star. Okay. Now, suppose inflation in the economy increases. Okay. Suppose in the next period, okay, they sit down. Okay. Expected inflation is 6%. Okay. When expected inflation is 6%, it will translate 1 to 1 into your actual inflation. Okay. Since each Phillips curve is based on expected inflation, okay, and height of the Phillips curve, this is 5%. Okay. Depend on your expected inflation. So when there is an increase in expected inflation, okay, this curve will shift up. So there is a 1% increase in expected inflation. Okay. So when there is a revision of expectation, your Phillips curve will shift up. Okay. This is what you have in the inflation expectation augmented Phillips curve. So again, stop here.